There's no wick again. No way to light this thing. Seriously, look. By the way, smells awful. Cheap as chips. It comes out just like that. So Meghan Markle and her business, as ever, or was never, as Lady Colin Campbell describes it, has just been totally exposed in the most astonishing detail. Now, she is pushing back about the mountain of tat which has been unearthed, but that pushback is a lie. And I'm going to expose today exactly why it is a lie. But first, you're not going to believe it. The most astonishing thing has happened, and I think it shows why this business is done. So my fiancé, as a bit of a joke, before Christmas, decided to order me, and I'm not happy about it, this candle, right? This as ever scented candle. And we're in the United Kingdom, so it didn't arrive until after I'd left for my little Christmas break in New Zealand. And I fully appreciate and I do acknowledge that because we are in the United Kingdom, he made this order via the eBay website. So when I got back to the United Kingdom and I saw this and I thought, enjoy. Well, of course I'm not going to enjoy. This is terrible, Alan. And I wasn't even going to mention it because it's like I don't want people to think that I'm putting money into her pockets and all of that. But of course I was intrigued to look at the candle and look at the box. And I known full well what happened with Link Lauren, my friend Link, when he received his as ever order. And of course I assumed I'd sorted it out. So you are not going to believe what happened when I opened the box, when I got back. There's no wick again. No way to light this thing. Seriously, look. So there are two theories that I have about this. By the way, smells awful. Cheap as chips. And the two theories that I have, look, it comes out just like that and literally no wick. Now, the two theories that I have are, one, Meghan Markle knew, and she's playing a game. And she was playing a game with Link Lauren, and she was playing a game with me. But the thing is, that doesn't really stack up because this isn't a details woman. And when you think about it, she wouldn't probably have known that my fiance called Alan was ordering it via eBay. So actually that theory just doesn't check out, but I'm trying to be open-minded about it. So actually what this means is that these products, and by the way, this candle, $64 from the Was Never website, $77.94 because we ordered it from eBay, is a dud. It's a cheap mess that you cannot light. And so Alan emailed eBay communication and he wrote, "Hello, just received the candle today. Were you aware that the candle itself has no wick?" And eBay replied saying, "Hello, my apologies. When I checked it prior to shipping, I saw a wick. You can return the item and as soon as I receive the return, I will issue a refund." Well, there wasn't a wick. There was no goddamn wick. We're not making this up. You can't remove a wick. And exactly the same thing happened to Link. Watch.
You guys, this is not a joke. I'm testing Meghan Markle's new candle on my show. There's literally no wick. I just got Markle. There's literally nothing to light, okay? There's nothing to light on here. I feel like Meghan Markle saw my name and maybe took it out. Quality control really needed to check the quality because it's out of control.
So it's a piece of tat. No wonder she has hundreds and thousands of these things on the shelf. Pete Diner, Happy New Year, by the way. And as I say, look, Alan just ordered this for me as a joke. Okay, it was just a joke. Honestly, I promise you, I had no idea about it. I wasn't going to talk about it on the show. It was a joke. But given all of the headlines about as ever, and given the fact that it's not saline, and given the fact that they'd already been warned, by the way, by Link Lauren in that video which went completely viral, this proves this is just a shoddy operation. It's wickless. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is a shoddy operation. There's no quality control, clearly. I mean, how can this happen again? Maybe the first time you overlook it as okay, it was just that one time that got by quality control. But to happen again, I think this shows that it's probably more than the two times that we've seen it with people who have bought this. So to me, it just shows you that Meghan Markle does not really have a clear way of running a business to ensure that these things don't happen because she is a public person. People are talking about her products, they're doing videos. How can she afford to allow something like this to happen and to maintain a good product that has people coming back for more when you're not getting what you pay for initially? And you're spending quite a bit of money for a candle. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of money for a candle. There's just no excuse for this. That is unacceptable.
It's totally unacceptable. It's a joke. This is a premium candle.
Yeah.
Now, Pete, I'll admit,
Yeah.
as I've entered my 40s, I've become a candle guy, right? I love a candle. And every now and then, as a treat to myself, I order myself an expensive candle, you know, like a Jo Malone or La Labo or something like that. I never thought I'd be a candle guy.
Meghan Markle's lifestyle venture, as ever, is facing renewed criticism, with commentators arguing that the project has unravelled under scrutiny. Critics say promotional claims failed to match delivery, branding felt confused, and public enthusiasm never materialised in the way supporters expected. As questions mounted, mainstream media outlets appeared to pivot, with what some describe as a coordinated fight back, reframing the story and pushing more sympathetic coverage. Skeptics, however, argue this response only intensified doubts, drawing more attention to inconsistencies surrounding the launch. To separate narrative from reality, we're joined by US Royal YouTube commentator P. Diner, who has closely followed audience reaction across American platforms. If you want clear analysis without the spin, hit like and subscribe so you don't
They
miss
never
what
arrive
comes
without
next.
a goddamn wick, and certainly you can't just tip it upside down. It's a sticky, revolting mess of a candle. Honestly,
What
this
does it-
is a joke.
What does it smell like? Can you describe
It's-
it?
Honestly, cheap and not strong either. Like, I like a
Yeah.
strong scent, and it's not strong, and it's very soapy. I mean, this is meant to be White Lotus, Sandalwood, Californian Poppy, our scent at home, elegant and earthy. Honestly, it's not at all. It smells like soap. Really does. And as I say, I'm a candle guy. And
Yeah.
what's so fascinating is that this business has imploded. And it's imploded to the point where she is having to keep on pumping out her advertising. I even got a new one overnight. Well, again, I'm just going to be honest with you, Peter. I refuse to sign up. I'm not on the mailing list, but my fiance is. So he forwarded it to me. He forwarded it to me. And I know why he's on the list, okay? Because he wanted to buy it for me. But look at this. Find your calm. With the rush of the holiday season behind us, we look ahead with an intention to begin the new year at a gentler pace, making space for moments that matter, shared over a cup of tea by candlelight or simply taking a pause when the day allows. A reminder that how you start matters and that easing in can be its own kind of resolution. And it was headlined with, as ever, ease into your journey. Well, I'm sorry, I can't do anything over candlelight when I don't have a goddamn wick. But of course, all of this, P. Diner, is because of this disaster with the website accidentally revealing all of the sensitive data. Honestly, so sticky. This is so gross. I'm going to get rid of it, actually. I'm just going to get rid of it. And even Newsweek, you know, which has been pretty pro Harry and Meghan in the past, revealing that this was true, that this leak was completely true, and that she's sitting on $21.8 million worth of product. Jack Royston, the royal editor writing this, appears to have yielded broadly accurate tallies of Meghan's stock across her range of products, Newsweek has confirmed. But a source familiar with As Ever telling the publication it's exceeded everyone's expectations in terms of how well it's gone, I would say, across the holiday period. That period has been incredibly successful. People are attempting to paint a negative narrative and are choosing how they present things, choosing how they share information to fit a particular narrative to perpetuate certain negative storylines. And this is just another example of how people have to be really discerning with the way that they not only consume media, but the way that they interpret data and facts that are shared with them, because they often don't present the full picture. But that's total bullshit, given that she only sold, for example, and it was the Royal News Network who did all of this work, 15 jars of orange marmalade in 2 days and 39 signature fruit spread boxes, and even Newsweek conceding that on that basis, it would take years and years and years to sell through her current stock. And Brittany from RNN did actually do some more work on this. Let me just share it with you, P. Dinah. The cope with this product blunder is literally insane. It's flying off the shelves. She couldn't even sell a single cider mulling spice in 12 hours. A generous average of perhaps a little over 200 products are sold a day. She's sitting on an insane amount of inventory with no guarantee that the international market demand will be strong or profitable. There's also the reality that despite marketing her fruit spread box trio as part of the holiday collection, she still has 137,000 boxes sitting in a warehouse. So clearly she overestimated demand. This brand has gone from one blunder to another, starting with its name, and is only being floated by her mega fans. That's it. And it's not sustainable long term. It also doesn't help when in her own Instagram video, it looks like she hates hosting, which is the cornerstone of her brand. What an avoidable mess. And it really was a total avoidable mess. And Brittany went on to say that it confirms the brand's bad performance because she is only moving, wait for this, P. Dinah, 0.03% of her stock every 24 hours. And that's a generous estimate. At that rate, it will likely take her 7 years to sell it all at current rates. And now Nancy Sidley has worked out that the As Ever crepes and shortbread have been removed from this site after the blunder. So, P. Dinah, I don't think there is any way to spin it. And I will get to Meghan's spin. You know, I always present her side, and we will do that because the Sun has swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. But when I look at those numbers, P. Dinah, even if she multiplied the Christmas period by, say, 100 or even 1,000, which would be so generous, this is still one of the biggest business disasters in history. And really, do we think there's going to be international demand, given how rubbish this product is?
I just doubt that this is ever going to go anywhere. I think she'll continue trying to make it sound like it's successful and that it's doing well and trying to give off the appearance of a successful brand. But with these numbers, this is a disaster for her. Like, this would put me into such a depression. I don't know what I would do. I don't know, how do you stay above these kind of figures? You can't really make this make sense. It just is not going to yield her the kind of money she was expecting. And I think in large part it's because, of Meghan's brand and everything behind her. We've always said this, people are not buying the products because, they're products that they want. They're buying them because of the attachment to royalty and Meghan. Well, if you're not a very well-liked person and people are not really trying to support you because they don't like you, then you're not going to sell products. And I don't understand how you just did not figure this out from the beginning before you even started this As Ever. Try to first be likable before you try to sell anything to people, because that is one of the number one reasons why people buy, from people that they like or that they have an attachment to, and they like the products. That's part of it as well. But these are things that go together hand in hand, and Meghan just hasn't figured that out. I think she has just lost her way completely with this brand, this company that she's trying to run. She can't get out of this, Dan.
But P. Dinah,
How?
it speaks to who she is. She takes us all for granted.
Yeah.
Even the fans who want to support her. She doesn't want to give them good product. Just like she
Right.
never wanted to give any of herself to her charities or any of herself to the Commonwealth. She wanted to be paid to go on a royal tour of Australia. I mean, this absolutely sums up what type of woman she is. There is no pride in this tat.
Yes.
No pride. She has no pride. I mean, I'm a small businessman. I want to put out the best possible product every single damn day. I value the outspoken audience that much. She doesn't give a damn about the
Not
people
at
who are
all.
spending good money on her product. It's a
Right.
joke. But look, the
Yeah.
Sun, P. Diner, as I said, have completely swallowed hook, line, and sinker. They're in that. We're going to come to this on another show, P. Diner, because they're now very much in the Harry and Meghan propaganda camp. They ran the story over the weekend saying, oh, horrible Charles isn't going to go and visit Harry in Los Angeles during a state visit. Now they are completely accepting the spin from Harry and Meghan's team, which is trying to suggest that actually these products and the inventory means that it's a success. So this is from Matt Wilkinson, the royal editor, very surprised by him, writing, the Duchess of Sussex has flogged almost 1 million jars of jams. Well, show me the proof of that, because I don't believe it. And now plans to spread the business worldwide. A source told The Sun, I think it's fair to say business isn't just successful, it's flying off the shelf. Well, you didn't sell one. Not one mulling cider in a day. Meghan inadvertently revealed that 1 million jars were ordered for that one product and that she only has 130,000 left. It doesn't take a genius to work out that 87% of what has been ordered has been sold. Her signature fruit spread gift box is priced at $42 or £31, meaning she has sold stock worth $36 million or 6.7 million. Now, I do not believe this, and I can absolutely prove that this is a big fat lie, because that claim, which has been touted, is based on this video, this interview that Meghan gave last year to Bloomberg.
P. examines how As Ever was received by US audiences, and why, according to critics, the project failed to resonate. From declining engagement to sceptical commentary, she explains why attempts to reset the narrative may have backfired. When audiences feel marketed to instead of spoken with, trust disappears. Once that happens, no media rebrand can fix it overnight. The discussion widens to the broader Sussex strategy, and whether repeated media interventions are accelerating fatigue rather than restoring credibility. As this chapter closes, one question remains. Is this simply a failed project, or a sign that public patience has finally run out? Subscribe to Royal Household for expert panel debates, US-UK Royal Insight.
Sell out that quickly, it's a double-edged sword, because it's an incredible thing to happen for any small business and any startup. And at the same time, you don't get the same metrics and learnings about which SKUs and products are the most coveted, because it's all gone immediately. So then we prepped for the second seasonal drop and 10x'd our inventory and thought for sure that would at least last for a couple weeks. That sold out in a couple hours. And suddenly the conversation goes from at the start of this year talking about a few thousand jars and lids to we need to do a purchase order of 1 million. And that's a huge jump in just a few months of starting a business.
P. Diner, she wasn't speaking about 1 million of an individual jar. It's bullshit. She was speaking about 1 million across the product range. There's also absolutely no proof of this. And it's a woman who lies constantly and consistently. So for the Sun to just swallow that lie from Team Sussex, I think is a huge letdown on their part.
Possibly, yeah, working with her, inadvertently trying to have access for her with her. I mean, it doesn't make sense, obviously. And I think Meghan is just trying to portray herself as someone who is moving all of these products, giving the illusion of something that is not there, because that's what she does. That's essentially how she has managed to do everything that she does. She wants to lie her way through things. This is why we don't know anything about, or she doesn't, have a relationship with her family. Meghan wants to put up the facade of being successful and doing great things. But when you go behind the curtain to really look at what is actually happening, you see the lies that she is telling. And I think this is a lot towards the relationship with Harry as well, because Harry is going to be the one that's going to find out everything about Meghan later, once his life has come to a complete ruin. He's going to then see behind this curtain that he's, I think, chosen not to look behind. It's the story of Meghan's life, essentially. That's how she rolls. That's what she does. That's how Megan is. I think it's also how she's gotten to where she is now. And it's not until she's had all this scrutiny with all these people looking into her products, her life, that we start to see, oh, wait a minute, that this is all not true what she is saying. And she never expected this, I think. Imagine when you are in the royal family and you think that people are just going to buy your lies, and then people start to really scrutinize you. She's taken aback by all of the information that people are finding out about her behind the scenes. She never expected this to happen. So now all of the lies are starting to catch up with Megan because she's been doing this since, yeah, for a very long time. Okay. That's why. I mean, it's really, it's just so unbelievable for someone on such a big stage to have these blunders.
And
Just
the source went on. This is clearly, by the way, her new PR, whichever hapless soul that is, now that Meredith Maines and James Holt are out the door, said the large stock order was obviously part of the international expansion plans that Meghan has for As Ever. Given how much has gone after a hugely successful festive period, it's likely they'll have to beef up the stockroom to meet demand when the product is made available in other international territories. Now, again, P. Dinah, that makes no sense. And I know we're getting into the weeds here, but it's important because I always think with Meghan, the devil is in the detail and her lies are always exposed in the detail. Because again, think about this. That Bloomberg interview was months and months and months ago. These are perishable goods. You would not order that amount based on a potential international rollout. So none of it makes sense. But I think Tom Sykes has had, as ever, sorry to use that phrase, a good take on this, writing that the online sleuths have been able to expose Meghan's jam plan. Now, they insisted, sources close to Meghan insisted, that the numbers were consistent with a brand ready to scale up, and again pointed to that Bloomberg interview. But it's very obvious that Tom Sykes doesn't believe that for 1 second, just like I don't, because he wrote, As Ever was developed in partnership with Netflix, following a rebrand from American Riviera Orchard, and is closely tied to Markle's lifestyle series With Love, Meghan. The show failed to break into Netflix's top 300 most watched titles, leading to questions about how much the brand could rely on entertainment-driven momentum. Meghan's products are not being offered for sale at Netflix, house, brick and mortar stores. A source with inside knowledge of the business told the Royalists the stock availability may seem high to amateur online sleuths. Fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously, these are people exposing you. And so you can try and deride them as amateur online sleuths. But actually, these are the people on Reddit, like Infinity, who have exposed you. But they're only getting part of the picture and not taking into account the need to have inventory in the stockroom for the inevitable global expansion she has spoken about in the past. Just bullshit. Just absolute bullshit. And I mean, let's just look at the stock in detail, right? Because it's astonishing, P. Dinah. Absolutely astonishing. 137,000 of the signature fruit spread, 44,000 of the trio, 24,000 of the honey, 44,000 of the marmalade. She sold 9 in a day. Come on. This is a joke. The cider mullein spice kit, 14,000. She didn't sell any. Do not tell me that you want to have that level of stock for an international rollout that isn't even planned of perishable goods. Yet again, Meghan has been exposed lying, P. Dinah.
Absolutely. This is what she does. You cannot expand and have this kind of success that you are dreaming up in your head if you're not even doing it in the States. Like, this is a brand that has failed. Megan doesn't want to, I think, realize that it has essentially failed. I mean, how do you build from here? There's no momentum. There's nothing that's going to, okay, we're waiting for this to happen. No, the Netflix shows are over. She is in a battle right now with, having to go back to the UK. That's another story. But there's so much going on, trying to also, have money to pay the bills that you currently have. This is such a huge loss. It is a global embarrassment for, I think, the royal family to be attached to her still somewhat, because of Harry. I think this right here, you have to be far away from Meghan. And I think that's what Harry is trying to do. I just think Meghan she's lost her way. She's delusional. How can you try to think that this is going to be you can scale this up to a global market now? Like, there's no way. It's over.
Another piece of huge breaking royal news, P. Diner. In the past few hours, King Charles has U-turned again on Prince Harry. And I'm just like, seriously, Buckingham Palace, get it together. Where do you stand on this guy? So the Times, which is obviously the newspaper of record, clearly this was briefed from Buckingham Palace, now revealing that Charles is not planning to meet Harry on his visit to the UK this month. He's going to remain in Scotland. That is according to royal sources. None of them quoted, but this has been written with authority.
As a
from
new
Kate
year
Mansi. It is
begins,
clearly
the
a
discussion
palace
turns to
leak.
what this shift
More
means
damage
going
control.
forward.
Let me just give you
Can
the
the
top
Sussex
line,
brand
P. Diner.
recover
The
in
Duke
the
of
US?
Sussex has no plan
Will
to meet the King when
strategy
he returns to
change
the UK for
or
his
double
court case
down?
against Associated Newspapers
The
this
Sidley
month.
twins
Prince Harry will
suggest
attend his trial against the
2025
publisher
could
of
be
the Daily Mail and
decisive.
Mail on Sunday in London, while the
Rebuilding
King is likely
trust
to
may
remain in
require
Scotland.
less storytelling
Royal
and more
sources have
results,
indicated that the King
less
has no
positioning
intention of
and
being
more
linked to the court
restraint.
cases. Typically, a monarch
As
would be
Dan
expected
closes
to
the
stay clear
conversation,
of any
one
active
conclusion
legal
stands
proceedings.
out.
The King last month met his son.
2024
The King
wasn't
last
just a
met his
difficult
son
year
in
for Harry
London
and
in
Meghan.
September when he was
It
visiting
may
the
have been the
UK.
year the
They
narrative
had
finally
tea at
stopped
Clarence House in
working.
a 50-minute meeting. It was the first time father and son had been reunited in 19 months. Well, I'm sorry, P. Diner, I've got whiplash over all of that. Charles, this court case was always coming. So why did you meet Harry in September? This is because Charles has seen the backlash, and now the team at Buckingham Palace are trying to make him look strong. But what's the point when he's about to be granted security, it looks like, at least according to a very confident Team Sussex, and he'll be back all the time, causing issues for William, causing issues for the future of the royal family. I'm sorry, this has all been created by the King, P. Diner. And so trying to get tough now, I sort of feel like it's too little too late.
Yeah, I think they just want to not have any more backlash. I think they're just trying to preserve, the things that are going to be coming once he does get this security. It's going to be official. I mean, yeah, we're on to the monarchy and their ways and how they do things. I just think the king is not very strong in his stance about anything. Really, I think he has made some decisions around Harry that hey, you have to live with. And Harry is going to definitely cause more problems. It's going to be something that you have to stand firm on because there's just no security in knowing what's going to happen with Harry and as long as Meghan is still attached to Harry, certainly you don't know. I mean, he's still persuaded by her and her failing brand. Like that's what I was saying earlier about this attachment still to Meghan. As they fail, as Meghan fails, there's still this attachment to the monarchy. And so the king has to make a clear stance and point on, how he is not going to be aligned with this couple and their failures, Meghan's failures, which are essentially Harry's failures because he's still attached to her, right? I just think it's a mess. Meghan has made everything just sloppy, messy with the royals, and it's embarrassing. It really is. I think she is just so low class, and she had such a great opportunity, and now the king has to deal with this slop. Really, it just seems so just I don't know how to put it, but Meghan has brought a lot of problems on a lot of people, not just the royal family. Okay. So, that's just what she does. That is her brand.
Totally.
Okay. We've seen it in the candle. Okay. Now we see it in the other ways with the relationships.
Totally. But the problem is, P. Diner,